What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Wheel Wednesday. Couple Wheel Wednesdays ago, I don't know how many, 2 or 3 ago, I was talking about what I think the outlook on the Pokemon TCG community specifically is going to look like from my point of view, just based off of trends I'm seeing and stuff like that. And I was basically saying that I think the current level that we have of foot traffic basically in the TCG community could continue on until a little bit after the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, which is next year in 2026. I think I might, that could still be true. Everything I said in that video could still happen. But I think I've noticed a lot sooner than I had thought trends for basically people looking into purchasing Pokemon cards. It's going down pretty quickly. I thought it would be kind of more of a stagnant drop off, but at least according to Google Trends, which is something I had talked about on the first video on this channel, and how we had been in the basically the peak of Pokemon all time. So looking at that, it's dropping pretty sharply. I'll put it up on the screen, but basically we're at kind of a Google foot traffic level that is equal to, I believe, about the beginning of November of last year. So basically what happened was October it started to take off. November we were at about, they rank it from 0 to 100 in terms of like basically Google searches per day. And around the beginning of November, we were at like about a 70, something around there. And it peaked right around the beginning of February, end of January, which I believe was right around Prismatic Evolution's release date. And since then, it's kind of just slowly been like up and down. But just recently, it's kind of plummeted back down. Like I said, we're around the 70% or whatever however you'd want to call it. So it's entirely possible that I was expecting the hype to continue for a little longer, and it still could. But I think from what I'm seeing is, if I could imagine it from the perspective of somebody who's just maybe grabbed onto the Pokemon hobby, but maybe is just here for a little bit, just for, a fun little time, maybe a hyperfixation, if you would. So most people, it seems, according to Google Trends, we had the most foot traffic in February when Prismatic Evolutions came out. And the reason I can imagine it was like that is probably because most people probably missed the pre-order for Prismatic Evolutions. So when the set finally dropped, there was kind of like a mad dash to get literally any, because they had seen that, oh my God, the next set coming out, like, oh, I just get into this hobby that obviously they know something about. They know about Pokemon. But they get into it and they're looking forward and they say, oh my God, the next set has all the evolutions in it. And the cards are supposedly going to be worth so much money. They see this and they're, okay, we're going to camp it out in front of Walmart, Target, GameStop, wherever I need to. I'm going to camp out in front of it and try to get my hands on literally anything I can. So they go ahead and do that. And they open however much they can get their hands on. And they basically just sit there and they're hearing, talking about the next set. Either they spend as much time as they can getting Prismatic, and then when the next set rolls around, which was Journey Together, if people had joined right around that time of Prismatic drop, there's a chance they had also likely missed the Journey Together release, or pre-order release, because it comes out about a week before Prismatic drops. So there's a chance that a lot of people in the hobby had missed basically 2 straight pre-orders for the sets that were released in the most hyped period. So they basically showed up around when Prismatic came out, but slightly too late for the Journey Together pre-order. So then what happens is you spend, like I said, as much time opening Prismatic, and then Journey Together finally comes out. But right before Journey Together, Destined Rivals pre-orders drop. And everyone's been hyping this set up. Not only did we have Prismatic, which has all the evolutions, the next set has trainer cards, which is also an older thing. But then the next set is going to be Team Rocket based, just like the Team Rocket set from 2000 or whenever that came out. So you've got like three sets in a row that have reason for people who hadn't been around the hobby for a while to be excited for. And maybe they missed those first two pre-orders. They missed Prismatic. They just barely missed the Journey Together pre-order. So now everyone is putting all of their eggs in one basket. And that basket is Destined Rivals. So Destined Rivals pre-orders drops. Every single person has Twitter notifications on. They've all got Discord notifications, and they're in servers that tell them when things are dropping. And like we saw, the queue was over 2 million people. That was like what I can imagine as every single person that had joined the TCG community had finally had the chance to pre-order something. And there was a lot to go around. And the only thing I can imagine happens, again, I'm just like making this up. This is what I can imagine might have happened is they get the pre-order and then they just start looking around like, okay, what do I do now? We finally got that pre-order. We got the rush of sitting in that queue saying, when the hell is it my turn? They finally get in, they place their pre-order, and now they don't know what to do. They've just done like the peak of the hype. They finally got their hands in June, I think it comes out. They'll finally be able to get whatever it may be that they got, an ETB, a booster bundle, a booster box. They're finally going to get it. But now what? Now what am I supposed to do? Do I just wait around until June? Do I just keep opening more Journey Together? Because there's some people who aren't really interested in Journey Together. The cards are not as cool as they thought it was. They kind of just don't know what to do. So it might be a little pessimistic of me to think that this might happen, but I could see a lot of people getting Destined Rivals, like their pre-orders for it, and just kind of sitting and going like, I don't know if this is worth it. I don't know if it's worth it for me to sit in a gigantic line, not knowing if I'm going to get my hands on this next set at MSRP. Obviously, you might be able to get it other places, but everyone wants MSRP. So it's like, is it worth it to sit in this line for an undetermined amount of time on some kind of sort of undetermined date, try to beat as many people to the punch, just to wait 2 months to get, at this point, kind of little product, because they've put a limit, basically one on everything. It was limit 1 ETBs, probably limit 1 booster box, booster bundles. I don't actually know what the limit was for booster bundles, but like you basically sit in this gigantic Pokemon Center line to get very little stock because of how many people there are. And I could see that, along with summertime tends to cause a lot of people to kind of just forget about things that they had committed to. So they're going to be going on vacations, or they're going to just be going out more and doing more fun things with friends, and kind of forget about something like this hobby. So that, combined with the hype just being at like its absolute maximum, and then there kind of just being this like huge loss of adrenaline after they got their pre-orders, I could see there being a pretty steep drop off. And that's kind of, like I said, that's kind of what we're seeing right now. We're at about the levels from early November, when a lot of the people who are collecting Pokemon right now weren't even in it in November. So that's kind of where we are. It's interesting to watch. I don't know. I have fun looking at these kind of graphs and seeing, like I just explained, this kind of hypothetical scenario that's in my head. I like to try to put these, like the trends that are happening along with why it could be happening. I don't know. It's fun to think about for me. That's all I had to really talk about. Yeah. Let's spin a wheel. Okay, so we have no more 151 on this. That's intentional. I went to a card show recently, like this past weekend, and I had realized that I was going to go there and focus specifically on 151. And I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to focus on 151 and I've got 151 sitting at home, why would I buy something at a card show that could just be sitting in a pack at home? So I opened all of it. Unfortunately, we didn't even get to roll it on the wheel. I've replaced them with 2 more Paldea Evolved. Those will probably get replaced with something else at some point, but for now, we're at 4. We've technically doubled, but we're at 4 Paldea Evolved, so wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what was spun. It's just how the odds go. We don't. We're at Astral Radiance again. This wheel loves Sword and Shield. Okay. More Sword and Shield. Looking for that Machoke, I believe. Machoke, Machamp, one of them. Or that Trainer Gallery Starmie. Okay? Please. I think we're still like pretty much hitless with this Wheel Wednesday series, which is crazy. Like you'd think something. We get something of nice value. Togepi. Flapple Trainer Gallery. Okay. That's cute. It's popping out of the apple. All right, well, there's something. Nice. Well, that'll get added to some binder. I'm kind of binderless for like my extra cards right now, but I'm sure I'll figure something out sometime. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the next video.